Well, it's time for the second LMB Street Fighter race. The weather still raining. It's not quite as bad as it was earlier, but one thing is for sure, Keith Smith's going to want to try and get the winner's trophy back in the A class, and this is where they're all going to be standing come the end of the race. Will Andy Denyer have something to say, or will Dave Milling get himself another race-winning trophy? Over to you, Robin.
Thanks very much, Steve. Yes, the LMB Street Fighters up next. Very damp Cannon Park. Yes, as Steve was alluding to, the weather conditions eased off a little, but you can still see water coming out of the sky, plenty of standing water on the track. It's fairly filthy. Smithy chatting up the grid girl there, and there we see Barry Utting on the outside of that front row of the grid, the leading Class B runner. And behind, 35, Tony Hughes. Championship points coming into this weekend, but it's watch the light time. Smithy gets away well from pole. So there's Andy Denyer alongside him though, and Andy, let's see, yes it is Andy Denyer that leads him up the hill for the first time of asking Steve from Keith Smith and Barry Utting.
Yes, he's got off to another great start. He did it in race one as well, did the man with the dark green bike with Brute splashed all over it. Number 33 then leads out of park into Chris Curve. It's still Keith Smith in second position, but as we saw in race one, Dave Milling getting himself into third position. In fact, you know, he's just back a little bit further than that. He's got a bit of work to do, but in race one, out of nowhere, he just started putting in some fantastic lap times and went on to win the race by an absolute mile. Yes,
he seemed to take his time, didn't he, working his way around the circuit, just picking out the bits where there might have been perhaps a bit of extra grip, but he just got quicker and quicker. There we see Barry Utting, though, up ahead of Dave Milling. Barry Utting, of course, leading Class B and leading it fairly handsomely in this early stage in proceedings. And there we saw Duncan McMillan, number 7. He's in Street Fighter C, chasing after Tony Hughes.
Yeah, Tony Hughes there, just behind Sean Goldsmith, and Sean Goldsmith was last year's Street Fighter C champion, so I think that Tony Hughes is thinking to himself, well, and he does, he goes up the inside, so Street Fighter C overtakes Street Fighter A, and Tony Hughes will be smiling underneath that helmet of his.
Yes, Mr. Punch wins one, but I tell you what, you know that Sean Goldsmith will be smiling as well, because he does have one of the biggest grins in the paddock, and he retakes Tony Hughes as they run down the front straight there. Even in these foul conditions, they'll be having a good time. And Barry Utting, there he is, Mr. Flat on the Tank, supported as usual by Penrith Motorcycles, one of the loyalist sponsors in the sport, is up there running in third, ahead of that Street Fighter A machine of Dave Milling at the moment.
Well, in race one, we saw Andy Denyer lead, and then all of a sudden he had one very bad lap, dropped down to third position. This time around, it's a little bit different. He seems to be quite comfortable out in front in these wet conditions. There he is, number 33, the 2009 Street Fighter A champion, just ahead of, well, I suppose you could call Keith Smith the 2011 champion-elect, because at the moment, he's not coming under enormous amounts of pressure points-wise.
Dave Milling has got past Barry Utting now and is up in the third and will be chasing hard after Smithy.
There's Steve Bradbury just making his way into Mansfield Corner.
Steve on another Street Fighter A, but Andy Denyer there, very smart looking Triumph with these stickers on by Pro Decal. They're from down in Sussex, but I think they do work all over the country. And I know Andy would like to give him big thanks for the work they've done on his bike. There it is. And there's Smithy in second. And look at Dave Milling. He's been piling on Steve and he's closing on the leaders.
Yeah, we get to the latter stages of this race, and Dave Milling just seems to find some extra confidence in grip. This battle's still going on between Goldsmith and Tony Hughes. It's not actually a battle for championship position either, although Tony Hughes will have to try and do his best to warn off Brad Davey, who's a little bit further behind. There you see Keith Warren just behind Steve Bradbury, a little bit further behind.
There, up at park on a bit of a charge. The flying Dave Milling has nicked it through into the lead. And look at that, Keith Smith and Andy Denyer going either side of that slower machine. And Smithy moves up ahead of Andy Denyer. So it's all changed at the front. Number 85, Dave Milling, leads it now. Keith Smith is in second, and Andy Denyer in third.
Yeah, not enough room there. Denyer didn't really know what to do because Smithy was looking at the inside, then the outside of the slower rider, and has had to get on the grass, so that's almost a guaranteed third position now. And, well, Phil Doody found himself in a Denyer stroke Smithy sandwich a little while ago there, so a bit of a fright for him. But it is Smithy that's going to take 20 points by the looks of things, because with a lap and a bit to go, Dave Milling looks very comfortable now in front.
Yep, he's running at much the same pace as he did in the earlier race, actually. Just gets quicker as it goes on. There he goes past, no, just slots in behind Andy Driver, number 88, but he's going to forward it on as he runs across the start-finish line and to begin his last lap. He just acknowledges the last lap flag there.
And there goes Keith Smith, just putting a lap on Jason Markham. So into turn one goes Smithy. It's going to be another second position for him.
Yeah, Barry Utting still leading Class B. He's just behind Andy Denny. He's in fourth place, and looks like Tony Hughes is going to get the win in Street Fighter C as well, because he's still having that great battle with Sean Goldsmith on that MV Augusta, which is an A-class machine. There we see our leader, Dave Milling. Having a thoroughly good time, Steve. He was very up after his victory earlier on.
Yes, he will. Be interesting to see how he goes in the dry as well against these guys, because in the wet, well, he's showboating on his approach into the mountain, and I wouldn't be doing that based on what we've seen so far today in Cadwell Park. Very slippery offline. Goes through Hall Bends for the final time, which means he just got the hairpin, and then Barn Corner separating him from victory.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic performance. He's going to get the fastest lap of the race as well. This has been an absolutely excellent day out at the park for Dave Milling. Here he comes, checker flag being made ready, being given some air there, and a win, another win for Dave Milling in Street Fighter A. In the LMB Streetfighters, he acknowledges the waves and the marshals there, and I can tell you Barry Utting is going to pick up the win in Class B, and Tony Hughes will hold on to win Class C. There's the overall result. Dave Milling from Keith Smith, Andy Denyer third, Barry Utting fourth, Tony Hughes fifth, Sean Goldsmith in sixth place. There we see Street Fighter C. Tony Hughes the winner there. And there in Class A, well, in the point standings, Keith Smith leads the points from Steve Bradbury, Andy Denyer third, Sean Goldsmith up into fourth, head of Gary Cook and Dave Milling. And there we see the Street Fighter B podium. The winner, Barry Utting from Rob Norman and Barry Rudge. And in their standings, well, Barry Utting has a handsome lead from Rob Norman, Barry Rudge, Rob Cracknell, Mark Lum and Mick Riddle. And the standings overall, it's the potato chips. There they are. Dave Milling taking the win from Keith Smith and Andy Denyer. And the Street Fighter C standings now, Tony Hughes leads those from Brad Davey, Duncan McMillan, Keith Warren, Mick Everett and Andy Driver.